All right, let's talk about chunking real quick. We're going to use this concept a ton. It's an awesome mental framework that you can use in just about any area of your life after you kind of get your arms around it a little bit. So there are 3 types of chunking specifically. You can chunk up on things, you can chunk down, and you can laterally chunk. What does this mean? Right? So chunking up, put simply, is going more complex, getting to a higher level of complexity. Chunking down is going down level to complexity, so getting more simple as you go down, and we've got an example coming up here in a second. And then laterally chunking, or what is this like, right? So what are other things similar to what you're talking about? So let's use cars as a really, really easy example for demonstrating what chunking is. If you wanted to chunk up from cars, what would you do? Think about it right now. What is a little bit bigger picture than just a car? Transportation, all right? That's a really easy example, right? A car is a form of transportation. Transportation is a form of movement. Movement is a form of physics, and physics is a part of existence. Existence is the highest level chunk you can go up to. That's the biggest thing you could ever get to. So as you're chunking up and getting more complex, if you get stuck, you're probably at existence, right? So know that. So that's chunking up. How do we chunk laterally? All right, well, let's use cars yet again. It's the go-to example. What is like a car, right? So a type of transportation, right? What else can transport you? Planes, buses, motorcycles, right? Those are other forms of transportation. So that's a lateral chunk from a car. All right, now if we're going to chunk down the final one from a car, so we're going to get a little bit, what makes up a car, right? So you could think there are car brands, that's an example. There are F-150s that make up Ford. Engines make up those trucks. Screws make up those engines and the parts of a truck. Copper makes up the wires. There's also iron. There's also steel. There's plastic, right? Those are would be lateral chunks off of copper. And then protons, right? The subatomic particles of copper. Yes, you can go that minute all the way down, right? Till you get to the very, very bottom of these things. Some other lateral chunks here. If you're looking at Ford, right, what are some other examples of companies? Nike, Disney, Apple, those are all other examples of companies. If you're looking at engine, how could you laterally, you could look at transmission, right? You could look, there's tons of fuel cells, there's tons of other things, tires, that make up, or you could laterally chunk from an engine. Same thing with protons. A lateral chunk from a proton would be a neutron or an electron, right? Other subatomic particles. So this is what chunking is. This is the basis of what chunking is. We're going to use this a ton in this course. Thanks for tuning in to this one. Let's dive back into the lesson now.